money, this shit's fire.
What is good, everybody, and welcome back to Pin the Gas podcast. Episode, what is this? Episode 13 now? 13, 14 now?
14?
14, because we had Conquering, it was 13. Oh, shoot, I already spoiled it, but it doesn't matter because it'll already be out by the time you guys see this. And as always, I am the host of the evening, Mr. Cool Jules, and I'm joined by Andy, Andelix, Ro, Chris, The Show, Simko, and our special guest with the official PTG nickname. We ain't tell you this, man, and it's your choice whether to approve of it or not. Chris DEADLOCK Tullock.
I don't care.
Hey, what do you think? Deadlock, man. Just put on a shirt.
There might be a few people that might argue because you guys, Chris has met me, and Andy was in the car when we met. But I'm rather tall. So there's some certain people out here that call me the giraffe. So
The giraffe?
yeah, there's a guy, Mike Stronick. He works for BartCon Racing. He's a good friend of mine. He kind of nicknamed me that years ago.
That's awesome.
Because if you're standing in a group of people and there's me just towering over.
Man, well, I came up with Deadlock because, you know, the focus that you need to do
I'm
what
down.
you have to do.
I'm
It's
down.
a dead eye, you know what I mean? Like you got to be zeroed in, like Deadlock. Now, you were brought to us. You were brought to us through Mr. Chris, The Show, Simko, and he has a lot of good things to say. All good things. I'm assuming all good things to say. Chris, take it away,
Absolutely
brother.
all good things.
Take it away, brother.
Good
Chris.
things.
All right, so Chris, why don't we just start out by introducing yourself? Tell everybody how you got involved in motorcycles and motorcycle racing and where you are today with it.
Yeah, I'm Chris Tullock. I'm from New Jersey. I got into motorcycles just because I love motorcycles, and I always wanted to race motorcycles. I waited around for years for my friends to go do track days, and nobody ever wanted to go. They always said they wanted to go, so finally I just loaded my stuff up, went and did a track day by myself, and I called my wife on the way home, and I said, cancel my insurance. I want to do this, and I want to go racing.
Nice.
Here we are, and I can't even remember what year that was. It's been so long now. But I learned a couple years into it that I could make motorcycles go faster by turning wrenches faster than I can by turning the throttle. So I had a serious crash at New Jersey, maybe, probably about 10, 12 years ago now. I forget what year that was as well, but I lost some knuckles on my hand.
Oh,
I'm missing those two knuckles. And it was a good crash, put me out for a little while, but after that, I kind of focused more on helping riders go faster. And I've done some racing since, but nothing real serious. I kind of moved more into a chassis mechanic and started working for my friends and started working for some pro teams. And then it just kind of morphed into, I spent a couple of seasons going overseas and doing the Irish road racing, and came back here and won 2 Daytona 200s and worked for some teams, and we've been having some fun.
That's
Motorcycles have taken me to some really amazing places, and I've met some amazing people.
yeah, that's kind of my experience through this whole motorcycling thing, because as I mentioned before the show, I'm only 2.5 years into this whole thing, and the amount of people that I've connected with through this whole shit, I didn't even know this shit was gonna be a lifestyle, let alone a huge part of my social circle. God damn! If it wasn't for those damn 2 wheels, I would have never met any of these guys right here.
It runs in the blood. It runs in the blood.
Yes, it does.
And I wonder where it stems from my family. Probably from my father, but I don't know where that guy is. So, in terms of the spirit of competition, right? You said that you've been overseas.
Yep.
You saw like a couple Isle of Man races, like.
Yep. Oh, you all right?
Yep.
He dropped the
Man
phone
down.
again.
Man down.
I get passionate.
Yeah, back in, I think it was 2015, had a friend of mine that needed some help over at the Ulster GP.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over and we did the Ulster GP, and that team had another rider named Davey Morgan, who recently this past year passed away at the TT. And yeah, sorry, lost my thought.
No,
But
you're
yeah,
good.
he asked me come back. He asked me to come back and work for him for the TT that year, and I agreed. So I went back and worked for him the TT. We also did Armoy, and then we went back again and did it the second year.
Super cool. And for any listener who doesn't know what the Alaman TT is it's literally a race in this island in Ireland, and it's one of the most dangerous. It is the most dangerous race you can ever do, and there have been a countless number of lives taken through that race because it's not, there's no soft runoff. It's literally a street course where you're pushing your bike
and it's
to the max.
And it's a little island between Ireland and the UK.
Yeah.
Called Isle of Man, yeah.
And it's an adrenaline pumping, like balls to the wall, like you have to have guts, maybe a little bit of crazy or a lot
of crazy
to do this. Because I don't even think I could do that thing at 40 miles an hour, let alone someone doing it at 200 plus miles an hour. Like, it is insane.
I've got some laps of the island, and it's unbelievable to do it in a van with your rider and him pointing out, his braking markers and his turning in markers and where he gets on the gas. But he's pointing out, you see that mailbox up there? That's where I get on the brakes. Yeah,
wow.
You see that rock up there? Or you see that manhole on the? Yeah, that's where I turn in, and it's it's unbelievable. Like Bray Hill at Isle of Man,
I do.
The braking markers and the turn-in markers are palm trees in the front yards of people's houses because they're a visual going down the hill. You can see them because they're tall trees.
Yeah.
So it's visual markers. And those are things that don't change year in and year out. They're there every year. So those are markers that they use around the island.
Now, Chris, I understand that a lot of residents choose to leave the island during the race week.
Yes, that is true.
They go on vacation.
A lot of them rent out their house.
Rent out the houses. Yes, sir.
Smart money move.
Yeah.
I would like to attempt to go next season.
If you guys go, I would highly. The island is truly an amazing place. It's an amazing place. It is an amazing place.
It's on my bucket list too.
Yeah.
Is it expensive to go? My bad.
It is and it isn't. It depends kind of how you do it. You can actually rent a tent and camp in right next to the paddock in a field, and it's rather cheap. You can actually rent an RV, from a company that rents RVs. You can do a hotel. You can do a bed and breakfast. There's so many ways that you can go. Yeah, you can bring your own
make
tent.
It accessible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can bring your own tent, and you can actually just pay a small fee and use a little field and set your own tent up. There's numerous ways.
Chris, I understand during the week of the races, it's still very cold outside, is it not? Out there?
It depends. See, the first year that I went, it was the best weather that the island had seen in 40 or 50 years.
But the weather in the island, it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable.
It has its own weather climate where it could be sun the one minute, but on the other side of the island it could be raining. So we could be standing in the paddock with blue skies, and they cancel racing for the day because on top of the mountain there's a fog or there's rain up there because you can't race. Yeah, everything.
Correct, in the mountain, and it's 32 miles long around the island. 37. 38.
It's 37.5 actually.
Yeah. My God.
I just know because I've done so many laps in that track.
I know that. So Chris, walk us through the difference between setting up for a Moto America race and setting up for the Isle of Man. What's the main differences between that?
Awesome.
All right. Setting up for a Moto America event, you have your team, and you're basically setting up your truck, your bikes. You're getting through tech. You're getting tires mounted. You're setting up your awning. You're setting up your hot pit spot, and you're basically setting up for the next 2 days your little workshop of what you're going to do. When you go to the Isle of Man, it's a fortnight of 2 weeks. So you're basically setting up where you're going to live for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, because Moto America, we all stay in hotels unless you're, a little smaller.
On a budget, yeah.
Yeah, you sleep in the trailer right there at the track. So it's similar to the TT, because at the TT, my rider, we slept right in his truck. So we had the full experience. We didn't leave. Like, we were there. I was there working on the bikes till 2, 3 in the morning, because I had 4 bikes to look after while I was there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Hey, Chris, what do you recommend as a team leader or team coach or something like that? Do you recommend the rider to sleep in the hotel or sleep with you and with the guys and be around the bike? What's better?
Oh, buddy.
Well, all right. There's 2 different kinds of ways you can look at that. Some riders don't like to stay in the hotel, and they want to be at the track.
Amen.
So I'm all about that, but riders need to have their rest. That's 100%. So, like, I am
Little
not okay
downtime
with,
of the brain.
Yeah. They need to be able to turn it off, get their rest, and be rested for the next day. So, like, riders hanging out till, like, 1 in the morning, like, I'm not cool with that, because they need their rest.
So you get on their ass if they're, like, up late, huh?
I mean, I have said it to a rider here and there. Hey, need you in bed by, at least 10 o'clock tonight because we want you rested, Yeah.
Okay.
It happens. It's part of being the team is looking after each other. Even my mechanics that I work with, you can see if, we're out there till 3 in the morning and they need a break, they need to go get a drink. They'll tell me, hey, go take a seat for a minute. There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's all about making it happen.
At least it's not like the NBA where they catch you past curfew and they fine you $15,000.
No.
Could you imagine?
Hey, totally different.
But could you imagine? Hey, you! What time is it? $15,000 right there. Shoot.
But there's no money in racing.
Exactly.
If they tried to find teams like that, there wouldn't be anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Such a
more like 15 cents.
like best I can give you is $15.
Yeah.
But even then, $15 is $15, bro. Like, damn, like demanding.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can add $15 onto a huge expense to go racing for the weekend. Doesn't help either.
No, it does not.
Show. The show.
So what plans do you have this year?
This year, right now, I'm working Moto America next weekend at Barber for Twins Cup for my buddy Darren James out of Canada. I worked for him all last season, Twins Cup.
Very cool.
And he's also planning on racing the Daytona 200 this coming March. So he's doing some testing in October for the Race of Champions for CCS. So he's asked me to work to help him do some testing that weekend. I'll be helping him that weekend, and then I plan on taking a little trip with my wife because it's my 25-year anniversary this year.
Ooh. Congratulations,
happy anniversary! That's awesome.
Where we going? Fiji.
That's right.
Going to Japan. Where are we going?
I don't know yet. I want to, she works. I travel a lot, and I kind of want to we want to just kind of do something and just relax on the beach. That's it.
I don't want to get like too personal about the relationship between you and your wife, but is it like did it take some time to adjust? Kind of like, she's working, you're traveling, so kind of just took some time to adjust to your schedules, or was it something that just kind of, all right, this is what you're doing, okay, that's cool?
Well, no, because I actually travel for my personal business, and I actually had this job before I was married. So I've been doing the job I was doing since I was 19 years old.
So it's a part of your DNA.
She actually, she helped me help me get the job.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Jules. So Chris's wife reached out to me and said that it's just gonna cost a lot of spa time. So I asked, how much spa does it cost for the weekend? Because I need Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know. She just said, have her call me. So next time I'm in New Jersey, I'm just gonna call his wife and just drop off mine at his house. And just
let them do their thing.
Yeah, and just drop off a budget, and I just know they're at the spa the whole weekend.
My wife says when I come home from the racetrack, I'm happy, Chris.
Much relaxed, Chris. Yes, I need that.
She likes happy Chris. Yes.
That's awesome. So tell me about the emotions it was like actually winning the Daytona 200, dude. I couldn't imagine, Chris, the emotions, because I worked in Moto America for a little while with Chris Lilligard, and just the emotions I felt, just him on hot, watching him come down, being so close, and what's the feeling like?
It's hard to explain. I mean, it's good doing well and seeing your rider do well. And honestly, I'm sitting here right now and it still doesn't even feel real that we won the race twice.
I bet.
It's honestly something that I dreamt about doing for the longest time. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, so I'm an East Coast guy. So I've been going to Daytona longer than I can remember. I've been bringing my kid to Daytona longer than I can remember. Right. So, like, winning the race is something that, like, I can remember driving down there, over 15 years ago, thinking, imagine if this ever happened. It's just dreams do come true. I'm not even joking.
No, absolutely they do.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations on both those Daytona 200 wins, man. That's so epic.
For real.
Thank you.
That is so epic.
For real.
And it was Brandon Paasch. It was his second one, right? Brandon Paasch got it twice.
Yeah, last year he won it
and this year.
With the N2 team. It was a different team he raced for last year.
That's right.
And I'm not sure why he didn't ride for them again this past year. I don't know the details. I just know that him, Triumph, and my team owner came to an agreement, and it all worked out.
I actually want to get Brandon Paasch on the show because I have some questions I want to ask him, because the way that the Daytona 200 ended, when he passed like 3 of them dudes, right? At like the very last second.
The last one.
I was like, yo, come on, bro. I have a question about Triumph, okay? Now, well, they're obviously not in Moto America, but the Daytona 675.
I think that's gonna happen.
We were supposed to do some racing this year.
Brandon was in the UK testing something, and I thought that was gonna happen this year, Chris, and it didn't. I think they're holding off for next year, aren't they?
Well, I said it kind of before we started riding. Our team owner had a little medical issue going on this year.
Right. Oh.
So kind of our Moto America plans were put on hold so she could take care of that situation.
Of course.
So, and believe me, you guys aren't the only ones that have been asking us about going racing, because we still have the bikes, we still have everything's in our warehouse.
Okay.
And the topic has come up a few times this year. But like I said, like the most important thing is for her to get better.
Of course,
that's right.
And because racing's not going anywhere, so we need her to be here. We all love her. We all want her to be here with us. So
Lindsay is a sweetheart.
Yeah, she
is wonderful.
She's not ready to throw in the towel. So I mean, we had plans to actually do our own testing in October, but because of her situation, right now everything's just in a holding pattern.
Ideally, what track would you have used the most to test the Triumph?
For what, to go for the season?
Yeah, for the season. Yeah, because I know like a lot of.
Well, where are you at the moment now, Chris? Are you ready
Jersey.
to roll for the season? I mean, I don't think you guys are ready yet, right?
No, we're not ready. We're the bikes are there. The bikes are just kind of at a staging point to go either that way or that way.
Okay.
Because the bikes, how they race at Daytona are not legal to race for the season because of all the quick change and all the dump
Daytona is a
cans.
special place. I know it's more for the Rolex, and it's like a beginning.
Well, yeah. So like we built those bikes for Daytona, so we haven't swapped them over to do Moto America season stuff because of what's going on with her. So like we are ready and prepared to do that, but we're just waiting for things to fall in place over there, and then the plan is to kind of.
You still got time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Very cool. Very exciting.
Pretty much what I want to know is like for testing, you know, there's usually like an ideal track, at least from what I see. Again, I'm still new to the sport, so forgive my ignorance, but there's usually like a certain track that people use that has maybe most elements of other tracks to use as a testing ground. Yeah. So is there like a track ideally?
My opinion is any racetrack that we're gonna race at for the season is where you want to go, because you're going to get data from a track that you're going to be racing on.
True.
And then any data you get, you can compare it to data that you have from years previous because we've raced there before.
Oh, okay.
So you're talking like New Jersey, VIR, Road Atlanta, you know, Laguna. I mean, obviously you want to try and rent a track that's a little cheaper, so Laguna's out of the question.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to spend a fortune.
Coda's out of the question, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to spend a fortune testing. You want to obviously do it, so that's got to come into play. So like Daytona, we built the bikes for Daytona, and we actually rented Roebling Road for 2 days privately.
Sheesh.
Now, Chris,
So we went and tested.
when you talk about data, exactly what kind of data actually you're collecting for those that don't know when you actually say that?
We're collecting just about anything we can collect. Geometry numbers, gearing, we're changing sprocket sizes, chain lengths, swing arm lengths, we're changing. And we have our electrical data engineer who's pulling the maps out of the bike every time. We're comparing lap for lap. Okay, that session we had the bike set up this way. That session we had the bike set up this way. Okay, this is the difference in lap times. And then we're taking the rider feedback and putting it all into the circle and saying, okay, that's a better package.
Right.
And all this is changing. I'm sorry, Jules. I apologize. This is all changing every time that the rider comes back to the canopy on the side of the racetrack, right?
Yeah.
On the spot.
Just about every time he comes in, we're changing, or we're not changing something every time, but we're definitely checking every time he comes in. We're checking tire pressure, tire temperature. You know, we're putting warmers on. We're checking everything. How much he's using travel on the forks, how much travel he's using on the rear shot, or how much brake pressure, how much rear brake pressure. We're checking everything. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right, and that's what I want to bring to to whoever decides to watch that is new to sport or is not really well informed of what the sport is, because a lot of people coming from the casual side think that you just turn the throttle and go. You know what I mean? But I explain to people there's a crud load of minute details, suspension, gearing, even the way the fucking rider sits on the bike. Like there's a lot that goes into this, and it's not just a simple twist the throttle and go. And the reason why I asked like an ideal track is because I don't know, I thought because MotoGP always tests in like Sepang, so I'm just like I guess that makes sense. Sepang has like a lot of the elements that it has in like other tracks. So that was just kind of my question. I mean, if you can afford Laguna Seca every week, shoot, be my guest.
I mean, who wouldn't? Why wouldn't?
Yeah, right.
I think it'd be a good battleground, assuming in the perfect world to test on.
I would say if you got the budget, why not go to Laguna Seca? But Chris, I don't know. I mean, I grew up in Jersey as well. I'm from Central Jersey. I went to Hamilton High School, and back in my days, we didn't have New Jersey Motorsports. I think our closest thing, the closest thing we had was like Poconos or something like that. And 100%. I was even still too young to be disciplined enough to even try this track out. So
My first track day was Coconut.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. I was
there.
20.
It's famous. It's a famous location. Yeah.
I was 20. I think I was 25 or 26 years old. Yeah, I waited late. I started late because, like I said, I waited forever for my friends because we all said, "Yeah, we're gonna go do a track day."
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go this year, and nobody would ever do it. So finally, I told my wife, "That's it. I'm signing up. I'm going by myself."
By myself.
That's what I did.
So
usually ends up like that.
Yeah.
That's.
But see, I'm okay because I had such a good day by myself where I fell in love. I honestly did. Driving home, you couldn't tell me anything else. I'm like, this is what I want to do, 100%.
Inject it.
I love it.
I am New Jersey Valentino Rossi. No.
That's awesome.
The show, before I pass it to you, I actually want to ask him like a left field question. If you were to send out a message to those who have super bikes on the street who are afraid of the track, or not even afraid of track, or just like, nah, the track is not my style, what is your message to those dumb asses? Like,
why are you afraid? Why? I mean, any motorcycle, sport bike is built for the racetrack. Yes, they're street bikes. They're sold for the street. They're sold, but they're designed for racing. So why wouldn't you want to try? Nobody says you got to go out there and go a million miles an hour and do that. But I think a lot today is people have a misconception that you need everything to go just do a track day. No. When I did my first track day, I showed up there with my bike on the kickstand. I didn't have tire warmers. I didn't have my suspension set up. I didn't have none. I just wanted to go ride. That's all I wanted to do. Because I came from drag racing. So drag racing, you do a 10-second run, and then you'd sit there for 3 hours. I just wanted to ride. I didn't care about anything else.
And you know why I asked that, Chris, is because you see a lot of street Rossies out there that have like RSV4s, Street Fighters, V4 Panigales, full suit, nothing and everything. Beautiful RSV4 right there. Full suit and everything. Pista helmets.
Yeah, but see,
never touch the track.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. He said people that are afraid. You're not afraid. You might not have gone, but you're part of the track life already. So it's not like you're afraid.
But I love the way that you put it on there, Chris. It's a lot of people have that misconception of that you want to do a track day, it takes a lot of money and things like that. And honestly, all you need is just your motorcycles, your leathers, your equipment, helmet, safety equipment, things like that, and the open mind to be able to go and listen to somebody teach you something that you
teach you
don't
how to
know.
ride your bike.
And have fun in the process. Have fun in the process. That's the most important thing.
You guys want to have the most fun you can have on two wheels?
Yes.
Okay. There is a place, and it's up and down the East Coast. It's a club. It's for Mini GP. It's New Jersey Mini GP.
I want to do that so bad.
South Florida GP. Okay.
Yeah,
They race anything. They race up to 150cc motorcycles.
He's right.
You want to have fun? Go do an event over there.
I want to do that.
I am not even joking.
So I've been debating.
We'll have fun.
I've been debating about doing something like that, Chris. I've been debating on jumping into a season and doing something. I don't know if I want to do maybe like the little 125s or 250s or something like that, or maybe Mini GP is the way to go because it's cheaper.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm gonna throw you. Hold on. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Do you guys all have leathers?
Yes, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. There's my leathers right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two XR100s that are set up for Mini GP. Okay. There's gonna be a couple 4-hour endurances coming up. How would you guys like if we put two of you and one of you with me, and we do a pin to gas 4-hour endurance?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm smoking y'all like good cigars.
Woo! I love this.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Yes. Write that down.
Yeah.
Show. Write that down because I need this in writing.
Awesome.
Well, Chris. So I'm gonna say the show and then Chris. Chris, the reason why I brought up that whole like street Rossi aesthetic is because you're a lot more nicer in the approach. I'm not, because I see these guys on the street just beaming it 180 miles in a straight line, and then they tell me like, oh man, like I'm outriding the shit out of this bike, da 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 da, and they have like $4,000 worth of gear on, but just never touched the track. They think they're too good for that shit or like whatever, and I'm just like, bro, like stop being a pretender, get your ass on the track and get to work. That's just my attitude. You're a hell of a lot nicer about that stuff than I am.
Andy, do you know Bear Mountain?
I've been okay.
I live
So
by Bear Mountain.
my first time I've been to Bear Mountain, I rode from Trenton, New Jersey, to Queens, New York, and from Queens I crossed over the bridge to Bear Mountain. That was one hell of a long day for me. So yes, I've been up there. Amazing view, boys. If you've never been, go visit.
Before I got involved in the track riding, I used to be on the Gixxer.com site.
Oh, I know where you've been.
Guy.
Okay.
So I had a group of guys that we used to meet up there every Sunday morning, and we used to go terrorize up there. And that was one of the main reasons why I left street riding, is because I was either going to hurt myself or I was going to go to jail. Yes.
Well, I've been coming down that hill with traffic. I mean, heavy traffic, and we splitting lanes. Anyway, I don't want to say anymore because we're on video. Yeah, I can't say anymore. We're on video. So we'll chat about that later.
We all are.
It's an awesome, if you've never been to experience that mountain, is a beautiful view to go and hang out at.
There might be an old YouTube channel of mine around with some illegal activity videos.
Nah, it wasn't illegal. You were in Mexico. You were in Mexico. I don't know what you're talking about.
Jules.
Yeah, but it's not me. It's a friend.
That's right.
Jules, we're recording. Skip the topic.
Edit that out. Edit this
Whatever.
out.
We rip Bear Mountain like this on tomorrow.
We'll talk about this later.
we rip Bear Mountain like this on tomorrow.
It's been up until this year. It's probably been 16, 17 years since I street rode.
Man, it's been
I have a supermoto now.
It's probably been.
I have a supermoto now.
It's
that WR450, ain't it?
Yeah, I've been playing around a little bit, having some fun, but
that's a nice bike.
I got it's hard. I say to myself every time when I take it out, all right, we're just gonna go out and cruise.
Nah,
that goes out the window the moment
on the back wheel.
Damn it!
What you got, Show?
So who is, out of all the riders you worked for, Chris, and worked with, who is the most outrageous? Like, who is the most vocal? Who's the most wildest, crazy rider? Like, as soon as the leathers come off, you know, they got some time to kill, and they're just out causing havoc everywhere in the paddock.
I mean, everybody's favorite, not headache, but everybody's favorite bad boy is Danny Eslick.
Oh, I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
Said Danny Eslick.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and he's not a headache. He's very professional at what he does. It's just Danny likes to have a good time.
That's it.
Very cool.
And he's super fast, and he's super cool.
Very cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've yet to meet him.
Yeah. Oh, he's awesome.
He's an awesome guy. I mean, you know, he'll sit there and take pictures with you, kids, whatever. You know, he loves the sport. You know.
Yeah.
What's cool about Danny to me, and a lot of the riders that I work with, like, I grew up watching motorcycle racing and watching some of the guys that I eventually got to wrench for. So, you know,
nice.
they were my heroes before I got to wrench for them. You know, guys like Michael Barnes, who's actually just retired from racing. Yeah.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching him race, going to Macau, used to race for M4 Suzuki. I mean, you know, he's just a legend by himself. I got my first pro podium with him, my first pro pole position with him, you know. So, and it's stuff like that. Danny Eslick, Jake Holden. I grew up watching all these guys race, you know. For me to wrench for him was just a dream that blew my mind.
Shoot.
Did you ever wrench for Ben Spees when he was in AMA?
No, when I got into working for teams, he was already long way. You know, like I was going to races. He was racing with Matt Mladen when I was still spectating. I actually had some friends. A friend of mine, Joey Messina. I wrenched for him Super Sport, and Mladen and Spees were racing Superbike at Jersey. I think it was the first year that Jersey opened. Yeah, I want to say it was the first year of the Jersey Open, and it was AMA Pro back then. And I wrenched for my buddy Joey Messina.
Damn, so
So we're talking like 2008, 2007. Was it?
I want to say it was before that.
Before?
Yeah, like 04 maybe.
I don't. It's so hard to. I don't remember when AMA Pro left and Moto America took over. I don't remember when that was.
It's probably like around that time, and maybe 06, 07. I mean, I'm not too
it's
specific, but it's like
somewhere
around that time.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. I just don't remember what year it changed hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was there through all of that. The last year of AMA Pro was it was scary.
Yeah.
Because people didn't know. People didn't know if. Yeah, it was like a 6-round series. I mean,
it was bad.
Oh,
it was bad.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
man,
it was
bad.
Yeah.
Stands were empty at every round we went. Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
The riders,
you can't.
Riders left too, right, Chris? A lot of riders left.
Oh yeah. The grids were almost empty.
Yeah, so I mean, it was.
I mean, you still had teams.
It was a decrease.
You still had grids, but like the Superbike grid was almost empty. The biggest grid was the XR 1200 class that I was renting for. I mean, we had full grid. I think we had like some rounds we had 38 guys.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna ask for your opinion. This is like kind of relative to what you just said, or not really much, but what would you do differently? Because it seems that throughout at least two-wheeled motorsports, attendance to these events have kind of calmed down. What personally would you do that can entice people to come in and watch? Because I have an opinion, but I want to hear yours, if you have any.
For me, it's a tough call because I saw what it used to be back in the AMA Pro days and how the stands used to be full and how I see how it is now. And I think it's coming back the past couple seasons. The stands have been full at a lot of the rounds.
Yes, it has.
I can attribute that to one thing or one another. I mean, the hardest thing for me is I can't understand how the rest of the country can't look at motorcycle racing and see what we see.
Exactly, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
God. I find it so hard to believe.
Again.
I get passionate.
I find it so hard to believe. But no, I find it so hard to believe that it's not out there to the masses, that people aren't like you can't see what we see.
I know.
Well, we lost
the.
I mean, I remember we had back in these days we had like West Coast Choppers and a lot of channels like Speed Vision, Speed Week, and a lot of these channels had like went away and had disappeared. And
it's this.
It's money, of course. Yes, it all comes down to money. But you know, they're not promoting the sport anymore, and now I guess we're having big manufacturers like Harley and Indian.
The bagger scene.
I'm sure that's helping.
I see the people online complaining about the Harleys and about them leaking oil and this. Yeah. You gotta figure it's 2 years into what they're trying to do. Anything is gonna have growing pains. Okay,
that's right.
Do we want oil on the track?
No.
I'm sure they'll get that figured out.
Yeah.
I've already seen most of the bikes now have belly fans, which last year they didn't. Yeah. So I mean, they're making it better.
Okay.
You know, you got to give them a chance. They're putting butts in the seats. They're filling it. And if that's what it's going to take to keep the sport alive, to grow it,
we're having some Moto 2 riders that are coming back to Moto America due to some bad decisions possibly of their own.
You mean Cameron Bobier? Just say it. Just say it.
Andy, I don't know if I agree with that statement. Though. Okay. I don't know if it was a bad decision on his own.
Tell us.
I mean, I don't know. Yes. I don't honestly know too many facts about the situation, but I've heard rumors that the team itself has some issues internal.
I also heard that he got purchased to come to America.
I don't know if that's the right word I would say either, because any rider's going to try to, do the best thing for themselves.
Yeah.
They want to make money.
Of course.
It's a job. It's a job for them.
Well, he can.
So he's got to look at it. He's got to look at it this way. Okay, they're going to pay me this. They're going to pay me this. Okay, I'm not doing so well. I'm struggling with the team. Or I can go back here where I could probably win a championship.
Yes, exactly what I was gonna say.
With
He can
factory
definitely come
support.
back, win some races, and get
But
his ego
I
back,
do agree,
build
Andy.
his ego.
But I do agree. BMW wants to win a Superbike championship really
One way or
bad.
another.
They don't have one, do they?
I don't think in Moto America. I don't even think in World
I
Superbike.
don't. They don't have one
No.
for Superbike. They do not. And they're
And
talking.
to be fair,
They're talking about jumping into MotoGP, possibly, maybe.
I
Don't they
see
have
that
a German
happening.
championship? In the
Yeah.
IDM Superbike Championship?
Oh.
I'm not sure, but I think 2 years ago they won. They won the World Endurance.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think they won the World Endurance.
Okay.
I would
I gotta check.
I would
I'm
love
not sure.
nothing more than to see BMW win, because my original dream bike was an S1K RR, and like seeing those things compete at with World Superbike, I explained to the boys that I thought that Scott Redding was a great pick for factory Superbike, because he knows what it he has an idea of like how to win, and he's raced shoulder to shoulder with the top dogs in Rhea and Toprak. So I think BMW's development is now getting better. Redding is getting podiums now, and Tytler's is now like super competitive. Like those BMWs are freaking fast, yo. So with Bobier coming back and their program,
Scott Redding's a
I have my
Look,
feelings.
he won the British Superbike Championship after he left MotoGP his first
And he's a
try.
cool dude too.
That is epic.
Yeah, I think Redding is a monster. I mean, like there's some things in him, like personally, like all his like complaining and bitching and whining. I'm like, all right, man, just shut up and race. But what I'm trying to say is that BMW's developmental has gotten so much better within these last couple of years, and now Garrett Gerloff is in Bonovo BMW. So
Yeah.
can I play Fantasyland real quick, boys? Can I play Fantasyland real quick?
Yeah.
Assuming Cameron
Sure.
Bobier wins a championship for Tytler's BMW, gets BMW's attention, do you think he can make a BMW appearance in World Superbike? But
So Chris, I have a question for you, man. So all the new people that are watching, or even people that are mechanic and turn wrenches, and me and you had this conversation before, right? So how would somebody get a job in the Moto America paddock as far as just doing anything on a team?
All right. Any team in the paddock is always looking for people to help. All right. And your best way to get in on a team is to go volunteer for a weekend. You don't even have to do a weekend. For a day, for a half a day. Start up a conversation with somebody that's working on a team and be like, hey, man, listen, I would love to be part of the action. And they might, that first time you ask, not make it happen. But if somebody came to me 2 and 3 times and showed that they were really interested and they really wanted to be a part of the team, I'm going to make that happen. But, like, you got to understand, there's what you guys just asked in a race weekend, we probably get asked that 1,000 times.
And probably half
Andy,
of them
here's your
don't.
shot.
So,
Half of them probably don't show
Yeah.
up, and they slackers, and God knows what.
So it's not that a lot of times it's not that guys don't want to give people a chance, but everybody says they want to be a part of the game, you know? So you got to make yourself stand out a little bit so we remember you.
Yeah.
That next time when you come, I'm like, hey, I remember that guy from last time, or I remember him from yesterday. He asked about working. He's asking again. Okay, let's see if he wants to clean some wheels. Let's see if he wants to wipe down some body work, and then it just, see? But that's how it starts, because you show that you're interested, you do a good job, and then you're like, hey, listen, the next round, we might need a guy, a tire guy.
Yeah.
It pays this much. you know, and that's how you build in.
I'll lift. I won't be able to like wrench that much, but I'll lift things for y'all, man. Let's go.
Are you going to barber?
No, I wanted to, but I can't. Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. If you guys want to come be a part of a team for a weekend, we can make that happen as well.
Very cool. I might take you up on that, Chris. Maybe
next season.
one weekend. We definitely we're gonna do that. We'll make that happen.
I've got some connections in the paddock still where even if I'm not working for a team, I can make some calls.
I got excited again, y'all. I got excited again.
Jules, that's awesome.
Nah, but that sounds freaking
Chris,
lit.
I'll definitely take you up on that.
Oh man,
not a problem.
I want to do that so bad. Like I'm like, yo, let me collect some team shirts from all these guys. You know what I mean? Now we're at the. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just saying. I know you guys do it with your corner working.
Yes.
You know, but that's also a way that you can get in. You don't have to do the corner work, and one way that you can get down right there on Hotbit is to do the tire marshal.
That is correct, Chris. They had so Jules is actually one of the medic guys, and I'm actually one of the track marshals. I'm one of the chiefs this past season. So yeah, we do have the opportunity to do that as well. It just depends on what position you request. So.
Right.
And just so we're all out in the open, I've actually also done the same thing that you guys did. Back at Indy MotoGP, I corner worked out there.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very
cool. Before I started working for teams, a friend of mine, we signed up. We went out there and we marshaled all weekend, and then they gave us the free pass for the one day. We got to choose what day we wanted to go, and you know, it was like that was an experience by itself. I got to pick up Roshi's bike.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. I got a chance too.
Yep, that's one of those life moments where you're like, yep, I got to do that.
Y'all touch
I got
the
to do
goat's
that.
bike.
Hey, Chris,
I got ass
you
sweat on my
else.
hands.
Do you have obviously you have mechanical background or anything like that? Is there a particular school that you went to? No schooling. Well, some go to MMI. They have
so
a background in that. I come from that school. Chris comes from that.
Me too.
But some come the other way.
When I've always been kind of mechanically inclined, kind of my whole life, I always worked on stuff. But when I got the job that I'm doing now at 19, I was taken to Japan for training on the machines that I work on. I'm an engineer for the wire industry. So I went to Japan and I spent a month the first time and 3 weeks the second time for training on these machines. And it's not to get a degree from a university or anything. The Japanese company that made these machines trained me their way, how to fix the machines their way.
Okay.
And basically that knowledge just carried over to motorcycles. So when I always worked on my own bikes, and the first race bike I built was after I started doing track days. I bought a crash motorcycle, bought all the parts off eBay, and built it from the ground up. And that was my first bike I went racing on.
Awesome story, man.
If y'all want to help me build an RSV4, please do so. Now we're approaching the 1 hour mark. We're like 58 minutes in. Deadlock, do you have anything that you want to get off your chest for us, that you want us to hear, that you want the world so you want anyone who's listening to hear?
Plug yourself in, Chris. Go ahead, take your chance. It's your
shoot your shot.
Yeah, your couple minutes. Plug yourself in so they can come and see you on the weekend.
There's a few things. I jotted down some notes here, just so I wouldn't, you know. There's a couple companies that have supported me and my son's racing for a long time. MoTo is a company out of Florida.
Shout out
They make they make the best brake lines on the market. Their service is amazing, and they support the sport. Is one of the main reasons why I love that company. You know, they're made in the USA. You know, Motion Pro is another one. You got Hand Drive is another one.
Very cool.
So I had to kind of hit them guys, and as this sport, we all love it. We all lose people in it, so I wanted to just say a few names.
Sure.
If that's okay with you guys.
Fire away.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm just gonna go down because unfortunately, the sport that we're in, we do lose people, and it kind of hits hard a little bit.
Absolutely,
it does.
But most recently, this past TT in the last lap of the Super Sport race, I lost a good friend of mine, Davey Morgan. There's Lloyd Bailey, S.J. Harris, Chris Contrelli, Charlie Mavros, Natasha Lewis. You got Dane Westby, Scott Briotti, Santiago Villa, John Couch, Tommy Aquino, and so many more. Dustin Apgar, Daley Matheson, and I mean, the list can go on, and I don't want to, make it that kind of show. I just wanted to say those names.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always good to hear. That
it is, and we all do it for the same passion
Exactly.
and the same love. Right? We show up every day knowing the risk when we clock in. We throw the leg over the bike, and it's part of the love for the sport.
Oh yeah,
it really is. It really is.
It's honestly the only thing I hate about the sport is when stuff like that happens.
Me too, Chris. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Absolutely. But it's we all love it. We're here. We share the same passion. I'm so glad to learn from all of you guys. Like all this information coming at me, yo. Like this is great for me. This is great for anybody who's trying to get into the sport. You guys obviously have like a lot of knowledge and wisdom and a lot of advice, a lot of stories to tell. And which is why, I encourage, people who have been on the show to come back again. Like, I encourage you, Chris, to come back and tell us more, because there's a lot of things that I know you guys want to say, but either don't have the outlet for it or it's too busy with life. So we want to be that outlet for you.
I was 100% serious on doing that pin the gas endurance race for mini moto.
Yeah, me too.
Hey,
Chris, we're gonna do it.
Hey Chris,
Let me know the
you
details.
tell me you tell me when and where, and I'll be there. Okay, I'm excited
there.
about it.
Me too.
All right. Well, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go look on the internet and I'm gonna check their schedule for that next mini moto endurance.
Sweet.
And just wait.
Perfect.
We're gonna make it happen.
I'm so excited.
That's my track day right there, boys. I was gonna
got
sign
chills.
myself
I
for
got
track
chills.
day anyway, Chris. I've been dying to do one.
Oh yeah, I'm building a bike right now, and I want to do a little armor race. So that's kind of was my goal this year, was actually to do a little racing. But I've been so busy with my business this year, I haven't been able to do any racing. I've been riding my dirt bike and my supermoto, but I haven't done any racing.
I saw you in New Jersey with your son, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed y'all in Jersey. But all right, boys. Well,
all right.
I mean, we got another season. We're gonna see each other again very soon, and I'm so excited. And there's still a lot to talk about. Chris, I definitely encourage you to
anybody coming to Barber, make sure you grab one of these BartCon t-shirts.
Oh, they're so fire! Can I get one? Like,
they're supporting the veterans.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do I do to get one? Or people who are not going to Barber, how would they get one if they could?
I want to say you can contact BartCon Racing on Facebook, and they can make it happen.
Sweet.
I want to say anything that's left over at the end of the season, they'll be posting online, and then you can buy them and they'll ship them to you.
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure. Yep.
All right.
Very
Sweet.
cool.
Now, Chris, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in your information down below. Where can people reach you if they have any questions or they just want to get to know you more, just behind the scenes? How can they reach out to you, or how can they see you aside from going to the races?
I mean, our Facebook is really my only social platform. I'm not really into kind of Instagram or any of that. Yeah, I don't really do any of that. So, but I mean, I'm on Facebook, Chris Tullock. I get a lot of messages from a lot of people, mechanics, with mechanical questions, and people message me all the time with mechanical questions.
You're a trusted source.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. I actually love that, because even if I don't have the answer, I'll get them the answer.
That's it.
I'll never claim to know
It's
everything.
about the love,
you know?
baby. I love that.
That's it. Spreading the love.
We share it.
It's not about what you know. It's about who you know.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right, Chris. That's right.
All right. Well.
Yeah. 70% of why I get hired on teams is because I'm probably the best scrounger in the paddock. So if the team needs something,
the guy,
I'm your guy.
That guy.
That's it. I'll make it happen.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a lot of goals that we want to hit at PTG, and we will make it happen. So,
That's
Chris,
right.
I am so glad that you're a part of this journey with us as a podcast channel that's just starting out, and already we've had an amazing time with you being here. And again, we encourage you to come back. Does anybody else want to say anything for the good of the order before we close this episode out?
I just want to say, Chris, man, I really appreciate you coming on here with us again, spreading the love, spreading all your stories, and giving us the invite to come and race with you.
Thank you so much.
And on top of that, being part of our family. I really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
100%.
I
Not only as
appreciate you
that,
guys having me.
as a friend, too.
Yeah, buddy.
And for every
I appreciate you guys
and
having
for
me
everybody
on.
else, stay tuned because I guess we got a race going on, and I want to see what's the outcome of it.
For real.
That's it.
For real. Oh man, I'm so
yeah.
excited for Barber. Hey, I'm gonna do this differently. Andy, do you want to do the closing statement, the one I always do before the end of every podcast?
I don't think I remember it right now. No, you do
The
it.
show?
You do it.
If anybody has
I don't
anything to
remember
say,
it neither, man.
leave it in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe. Share our videos. If you think we suck, leave it in the comments below. If you think we're great, leave it in the comments below. Any criticism is constructive criticism, and we are open ears to anything you guys have to say. But until then,
POVC, baby.
hell yeah. But until then, I'm Cool Jules and Andy and Delix Rowe, Chris the Show Simko, and Chris Deadlock Tullock. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys at the next
Thanks,
episode.
guys.
Peace.
See you later.
Later.